Kamala is sinking fast. Poly market, one of the prediction markets we watch here, they now have Trump at an all-time high. I want to pull this one up first because they called it. We've been watching this very, very carefully. When we started to see the poly market shift, I've been bringing this to you almost daily. One of the great sponsors, by the way, here on the Trish Regan Show. We love them for that. But poly market's great. You can go there 24/7. You can check what people are effectively making wagers on. I mean, this is an open market and people are trying to say, okay, I believe Donald Trump's going to win. I believe Kamala Harris is going to win. 56.5% chance of Donald Trump now winning the Electoral College, according to Polymarket. That is an all-time high, ladies and gentlemen. So you look at that momentum, just look at that. Let me see if I can open this up a little bit more for you guys so you can see this even better. I love looking at charts like this. It's like we got a stock chart in front of us, right? Do you see this? Do you see the red there at the tippy top? You look at just in the last couple of days how he's opened up. Yeah, literally in the last 48 hours, she's gone way down. He's gone way up. This is the poly market latest and greatest chart. Now, it tends to run ahead of what you see in the polls. But the polls are kind of telling you a similar story. Right now, you're seeing Donald Trump ahead in a three-way race, according to the latest out of NBC. I mean, NBC doesn't quite know what to make of its own polls, but they're coming to terms with the reality.
The big headline, this is a national head-to-head poll, is that Vice President Kamala Harris had a 5-point lead in our last poll taken a month ago, right after the debate. That lead has all but evaporated, Willie. Take a look at this new head-to-head matchup. 48% to 48%. That is what we call a deadlocked race. It underscores what we all know, that this is tight, that the country is sharply divided. One of the other big headlines here, people are viewing the Trump presidency more favorably than the Biden presidency. Why is that significant? We've seen the vice president get pressed repeatedly on what she would do differently than President Biden, and she's really struggled with that answer.
Yeah, really struggle. I would imagine that Brett Baer will ask her that question as well. Maybe she'll be prepared for it. Maybe she won't. She went on The View. They gave her like a little layup. I mean, it's like friendly territory. And this is all she could come up with.
If anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Nothing comes to mind. Lady, you really think that Americans want to vote for you again when you got nothing that comes to mind? I mean, I'll tell you what comes to mind for most Americans. You like that graphic I'm showing? If you're watching us live on YouTube, thank you for that. We got a live chat going. Be careful what you write because I see it all. I see it in the comments too. So if you're not watching live, actually make a comment. I love reading what you guys have to say because you're such a big part of this program, and I'll go to some of your comments after. But this is the reason, really and truly. I mean, she's also not likable. And she's got kind of this uppity thing, and she doesn't have a ton of experience. And so all of that factors in. But I think that people would be willing to overlook a lot more if rents weren't up 23%, if electricity wasn't up 31%, if groceries weren't up 22%, and car insurance wasn't up 57%. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that hurts. And so when you look at the Real Clear Politics poll, there you go. 302 expected for the Trump-Vance camp. They're expected to take Michigan. We just saw, again, a new poll out of Michigan, once again predicting, this is actually a Fox News poll that predicts Donald Trump is most likely to take Michigan. So it's like one after another. And none of this actually, frankly, surprises me. Here we go. Michigan moving from lean Harris to toss up to Donald Trump. I mean, that's kind of amazing to see. Amazing to see. So according to Fox, he's still not there. So they're not coming through with the Real Clear Politics average like we've seen here. And they're not coming through with what we're seeing from the likes of Polymarket. But maybe they'll catch up. Here's a look at some internal polling. I've mentioned this one to you before. It looks bad. It looks bad because they don't think they got that blue wall anymore. And they're not going to get the blue wall anymore because what they're saying just doesn't resonate.
I mean, the bottom line is this. At this particular hour, if you believe the polling, Donald Trump's going to put up the best performance with black voters since Richard Nixon back in 1960. Not 68, since 1960. That's 64 years ago. Among Hispanic voters, Donald Trump's going to put up the best performance for Republicans since 2004 and George W. Bush.
So this could be historic. And many members of the media don't understand it. They really don't. I mean, Mika Brzezinski yesterday morning, I showed some of you guys this, but just quickly watch because I think she's about to have an actual breakdown. She starts to kind of, you can feel her, you can hear her throat tightening up. She's really upset because it looks like Trump might win this thing.
Attitude, if you will.
So that's the thing, is this morning and also all week we've been talking about the frustration among a lot of Democrats that maybe the message isn't breaking through to key voters. I mean, the polls seem so close every time a new one comes out. Neck and neck. And there's this fear that Donald Trump is poised for victory.
Yeah.
I think it's fair for Democrats to be incredibly depressed. I think it's fair for them to be discouraged. I think it's fair for them to explore whether Kamala Harris should be doing more. Feel free to do that. These things are all legitimate. I don't know what more she can do, especially given what happened, though, in 2016, because that was a trauma for anybody who loves this country, and a trauma that didn't end that day. Obviously, Democrats want to make up for loss.
A trauma. I mean, maybe for you, but I think most Americans are looking at the inflation graphic and they feel like the last 3.5 years have been the trauma. All right, certainly an economic trauma. We're still standing. There was a transfer of power. And they're all acting like it really is the end of the world. I was reading a headline from The Atlantic. Thank goodness I don't subscribe to that one anymore. I did cancel my subscription over something ridiculous that they wrote a few months ago, or maybe like 8 months ago. Anyway, The Atlantic has one saying that this is exactly what George Washington was trying to protect against. I'm like, guys, for goodness sakes, enough already. It's exhausting. I will tell you, speaking of protecting against, you got to protect yourself from this government gone wild scenario. I mean, you look at all the money printing that's going on. You look at all the aggression in terms of we're going to take from you to pay him or her. I mean, this is sort of almost communist style. I mean, this is what really actually worries me about Kamala Harris. It's one of the reasons why I created 76 Research, which, by the way, this is just 3 months ending in 2024. You can see our picks are way up in all of our portfolios. So you can get all the portfolios, all the model portfolios at 76research.com. That would be if you get the Founders Club, which includes the 76 report and all 3 model portfolios, 10 to 15 stocks in each and every one, median stock in that 76 Research model portfolio in all of them is up 10.8% versus the S&P at the same time being up 5.9%. So we're really obviously seeing some success, but this is hand-picked stuff, ladies and gentlemen, designed to help you navigate this crazy time. And I know a lot of you are like, I don't have any money, I can't do this. I get it. But at the same time, you have to recognize that by not being in the market, you're really losing out. So, if you get $5, $10, whatever it is, you can find it. You want to start putting it in to the right companies to start planning for your future. So 76research.com, you can get the 76 report, guys. I've said that before. The 76 report, go to 76report.com. You can type in code word dollar and get the it's like $1 a month for the first 2 months, then it goes to $9.95. 76research.com. Again, a really, really stellar quarter.